Hey folks, I must admit the title sounds clickbaity. No, I am not gonna clickbait anybody. I have the phones, the iPhone 6, the S21, and let's do this, shall we? I guess. Now, there are kind of a reason why I want to do this. So number one is because after the life of my Galaxy S21, I'll be switching to an iPhone. I don't really want to use a Samsung anymore. I want to try something different anyway. And second thing is, I have been quite addicted to my own phone. So maybe I was thinking if I were to switch over from a 2021 flagship to a 2014 flagship, it might cure some of my addiction. Furthermore, iOS 12.5.5 is starting to run out of complete support, and it will definitely cut me off from the internet more often than I think, number one. And number two, it's definitely going to force me to interact with the outside world. So I guess it's not going to be that bad, but it will be literal chaos for me. But hey, at least I'm getting my headphone jack back at a cost of 8 times less of the storage. But who cares? I'm just gonna be using the phone for a day, right? So for those who don't know, this is an iPhone 6. It came out in 2014 as mentioned earlier on, and it has 32GB of storage. This thing came with 16, 32, 64 and 128. This one's the 32 variant, and it came with 1GB of RAM, and that's the reason why it didn't get iOS 15. It only went up to iOS 12.5.5. So knowing Apple and their OS itself, the moment when your iPhone gets outdated, that's literally saying goodbye to every single one of the software support. That means your apps will not run normally, your apps will be quickly out of date, and your apps will be out of support in just like 1 or 2 years time. But because I'm using it for a day, as I said, I don't think it will be too much of an issue. There are things I need to point out. Number one, the screen is a 750p 60Hz panel, which I am totally fine. My A30s is a 720p panel, which by the way will be my secondary phone. Again, this is going to replace my primary phone for a day. I will not transfer my WhatsApp over because it is extremely irritating to transfer chats from Android to iOS, and I'm not gonna do that for the sake of just that one day. Another thing to note is the home button has been replaced, so no Touch ID. I can't test that out, but seeing my sister using Touch ID, it's pretty nice. There will be that mute switch, which I figure will be very useful in my usage tomorrow. And of course, the buttons are very clicky even throughout the years, and it's at 26% because it's iPhone 6. It does that all the time. Cameras. I don't think I have stressed this enough, but normally when I say I don't care about cameras, this is where I start to worry, because this is at 8 megapixels from 2014. The LED flash is fine. The vibration motor is very good on this thing, surprisingly enough, which, I mean, that's my first impression of the phone. So really, I don't know, like, what will I be missing out on? These speakers I heard, they are really good. The thing is, as I say, it's my secondary phone. No, it's my primary phone, so I don't watch a lot of YouTube on my primary phone, believe it or not. Everything's perfectly fine on this phone. The only things I realized that it's definitely very slow. It's a very slow phone, of course. It's 2021 standard. And of course, this thing is built around 2014's flagship specs. There is the irritating iOS bug, which I will demonstrate later on. I don't know when, but yeah. Overall, I would say my main concerns right now is the battery life and maybe some of the apps not working correctly. But again, as my daily driver, I tend to let it off easy. Okay, so with that out of the way, then I unplug both phones because they're on a case. And I'm gonna remove the SIM card of the iPhone 6, the tray at least. Okay, and I'm gonna remove the case of my S21. Oh, another thing is I'll also miss the fun of trying to search for 5G. And then now I'm gonna put my SIM card in, and into the phone it goes. Okay, there you go. It just detected my SIM card. But you roughly get the idea. It's already connected to the internet. It's all ready to go. It's got my phone number in. Okay, the deal is done. Let's plug in and get the charge at 30%. For now, what I'll do is I won't sign into YouTube again because it's my sister's iPhone. Don't worry about that. That's because the screen is actually very thick. This is a replacement display. You set alarms. Let's set this to how do you use the iPhone? Oh, you are supposed to click on edit, right? Oh, it's satisfying. Save. Oh wow, this feels so good. I really miss the size of my S7. It feels so good. And the vibration motor also. Oh, sounds so good. Update, I have switched off assistive touch, and as I said, my S21 is gonna start complaining. Yep, it's telling me that I have no service right there. Oh, and by the way, I'll be bringing 3 phones together to school. Just why not? I mean, I need to check WhatsApp on this thing, so I need to hotspot using this phone to this phone. So you get the idea. For the record, all my socials will not be downloaded because this is my sister's phone. It is not my phone. If I have my own iPhone 6, I will definitely do it. So if you all want to subscribe, and I will try to find older phones to do this challenge with. As long as I get my Eddie Rabbit things done, like literally streaming every day or whatnot, I'm happy. Again, I won't sign in to anything because I don't want to bombard the phone with notifications when it already has like 736 Yahoo mails. Wow, this phone charges really fast. I know it's out of context, but it charges really fast. Then another thing is I don't have iPhone cable. This is my sister's lightning cable. I don't have lightning cable. Should this thing run out of charge, which will happen because it's an iPhone 6, I won't be able to do things with it. Then Apple Wallet, I won't add my credit card in because, you know, if my sister does something bad, like, I don't know. Yeah, seriously, the fluidity of the phone isn't so bad. I really enjoy using this thing. 4 years of updates. This is like a S21 after like 2026 or 2025. It feels usable right now. Okay, I will send a message to myself right now. Okay. Hello. Why are you green? I just received it. I won't do a lot of stupid things with it because it's my temporary phone, but yeah. So far I'm liking it. It's just pretty normal to use, I guess. Again, I won't sign into WhatsApp and whatnot. And speaking of which, can I sign into Instagram webpage? Morning hair, and just woke up. Right now it's 5:41, which I didn't set the brightness there. I don't know what to say. Like, will my day be perfect with this thing? Maybe. We'll see, right? It's still early in the morning. I still can't test this phone out really yet. It's nothing to say. Well, just gonna eat my breakfast. as always at home. Alright, so just so y'all know, my school we don't really allow the usage of smartphones, so that means all 3 phones must be switched off. And yeah, it's been taking way too long to edit this thing. I'm not joking. Today is supposed to be the day where I'm gonna upload this video, which is supposed to be 13th of June, which is not uploaded yet. Surprise, surprise, what a loser I am. Anyway, yeah. There will not be much footage. It will be a footage of me after school walking back home. So that's the one that you will be seeing. Now, let's carry on with the video, shall we? %. The battery drains really quick. Had a problem connecting to Bluetooth earpieces. Thank God it has a headphone jack. I'm not gonna use this phone for it because it doesn't have music. Instead, I'm using the A30s. So, really, not a big problem. So as per usual traditional practices for myself, I am watching videos on the iPhone 6 and yeah, the things that stood out to me is the LCD display. I dislike it. I don't like LCD, as if I haven't made it clear already. I don't like how blacks are not truly blacks. I just need to tilt it a little bit and the colors just show. It's not completely black like OLED. Maybe I'm used to OLED, but I don't know, like I know a lot of people who still prefer a LCD display over an OLED. That's fine. That's fine. If you like it, you like it, I guess. Apple makes great displays. Apple makes great LCDs. They are the best in class when it comes to LCDs, in my opinion, and no other companies can come to that. It's a good phone, yes. The battery drains really quick. The battery is underwhelming. The phone felt uneven, like the battery actually felt lighter than the motherboard there. I don't know why. The haptics are great, but I mean, for 8-year-old phone, they are really great. They are comparable to the S21. I mean, they use different haptic engines, so really, I guess that's what I can expect. On my A30s. Hi, 您好。
您好，请问现在有什么可以帮上你的吗？
等一下哦。In the year of our Lord 1806, we set sail from the cool cove of Cork. We were sailing away with a cargo of bricks from the Grand City Hall in New York. She was a wonderful craft, she was rigged fore and aft. And Lord, how she I'm so sorry, people, I can't. They really enjoyed the Irish Rovers. Ringtone starts as Good Night for Falling in Love by Eddie Rabbit in 1982 Radio Romance. This guy is gonna start irritating me right now. So good luck, I guess. I don't know. I cannot believe he has the face. He even have the balls to call me back. Scammers! Scammers are getting worse. Yeah, I mean, I really like it. So far it's really good. There's no distractions for me. The screen is fine, despite it being 750p or 720p, because this screen is small. It's got 326 ppi, which is the same as the iPhone 11. But unlike the iPhone 11, this thing has a smaller screen, so that's why it looks sharper. And the other thing is, it also looks way sharper than the A30s. They have the same resolution, that's what I'm trying to say. But overall, I've been getting consistent 4G so far. The screen is surprisingly bright for LCD. As I said, I really don't like LCD phones. I really don't have much else to say about this phone, because this phone is not bad. It's just not up to today's standards anymore. Back in 2014, when thinness is literally the first factor of phones, I think it will be fine. The battery will be absolutely reasonable for 2014, because 2014 phones are ridiculously thin. This thing's like what, 6.9mm I think, which is the same as a Casio F91W. today's standards, they are considered very petite, but back in the days, really nice. Next up, I would also like to point out the home button is ridiculously great. It feels so beautiful to click. The glass used on the home button, good. Then the flashlight, it's brighter than I think it is. Yeah, this thing might convince me to get rid of an Android phone after using my S21 and switch to an iPhone. It feels it's a blast to use it despite it being 4 years out of date. Despite how limited iOS is, it's still very fluid. In fact, the screen is just phenomenal. It felt like a 75Hz display. I don't know why. It felt like it. It was smoother than any other 60Hz display I've used. Oh, and the cameras, they are nice. I don't know if I can transfer it over to get it edited or whatnot. Details wise, I would say pretty nice. It's very amazing for AOO phone, I would say. Will I consider using an iPhone? Definitely. Will I switch over to an iPhone after my S21? Oh, of course. The haptics define the user experience. And if any other companies got the haptics really bad, it really just dumbed down your experience to a whole new level. And it makes the phone just feel very mushy and all that. It's just not good for experience. But the iPhone 6 can make it feel okay despite having slightly worse haptics than the S21, dare I say. So maybe I need to wait for my S21 to be obsolete to finally conclude this theory of mine. But until then, I will have gotten an iPhone, which really isn't fair to the S21 anymore. Alright, so here's a little bit of a video recording with the iPhone 6. Not bad. Not bad, not so great. It's satisfactory, I guess. It's 1080-30, I think, I don't know. Yeah, it's... I mean, at first I thought I would be worrying about the camera, but no, the camera is actually quite okay. I'm amazed. For AOO phone. We have got the solution here. That is using Snapdrop.net, which basically acts as sort of like a airdrop for these phones. So that means they are literally transferring files using my Wi-Fi. Not my Wi-Fi, my family's Wi-Fi. I don't even own a Wi-Fi thing yet. I'm not even that grown up yet. Next year is when I am an adult, so I can drink my life away. Great. Now that I've exposed myself, if my mother happens to see this video, she's gonna kill me. And can you imagine a world where Eddie Rabbit's main song, what is this? No, one of his most famous songs, Driving My Life Away, be like, ooh, I'm drinking my life away. That will describe me when I turn 18. I don't know, but as I said, I just exposed myself. I'm just gonna get killed any moment. So now, of course, there's no stabilization, and there's not much of there's not much of HDR, but it's an iPhone 6. It's released in 2014, and as you can tell, it's very grainy. So. Yeah, I mean overall it's an enjoyable phone. Oh god, no. Recording using the front-facing camera is not bad. It's it actually reminds me of the S21, and somehow it's quite stable. It's actually quite stable compared to the rear cameras. I don't know why. It's weird to think of it that way, but I guess it's nice to have a front-facing camera more stable than a rear-facing camera. I don't know. 1080-30, I think, or not 720-30. Alright, so you all want to know something about the iPhone 6? Despite having a very small battery, which requires you to charge literally 2 to 3 days, despite it having 100% of full battery health, look at this. It charges really fast. And I guess that's one small perk of having a small battery. So despite having a small battery, you still can't blame the 6 for charging really quick, provided it's charging via a 15 watts Samsung charger. But Hey, that's really quick.
2,000 years later.
Meeting my sister. And I don't know. Feels so weird to use her phone in front of her. Okay, B, C, get it? A, B, no. Alright, sure. But anyway, my life is pretty boring. And that means you won't see me filming in fair price. And just because my sister wants to get something, I don't want to get things from fair price. I already have what I want, so yeah, just pretend it's a happy walk around in the store and looking at instant noodles and thinking how it would taste like. Yeah, that's my life. Anyway, I'm just gonna continue the video and I'll see y'all at around 8 something, 7 something. No clue. On the way to a friend's house to help him with his phone. So 50%. It's iPhone 6. That's what I'm worried about. 32%. Not bad for an 8-year-old 1810 million power phone. But the battery is new, so I guess if you want to get an iPhone SE, that's the performance that you're getting on this phone. I mean, the iPhone SE definitely has a bigger battery, but really, how big is big when it's just marginally bigger with an overpowered chip for it to power? It's like getting a Ferrari with the speed, but you're also getting the mileage of literally all Ferraris, which is just terrible at best. Back. The awkward camera angle, there you go. Battery life is a hassle on these phones, but they are fun to use. And I have only like less than 2 hours left to conclude the challenge, so nice, I guess. Okay, now that I have fully bathed, I am ready to do my homework. I have like an hour plus left for this challenge to end with the iPhone 6. So let's make the best out of it by doing what I'm supposed to do, studying for once. Wish me luck in studying, and I'll see you the moment when time's up. I'd like to show you how smooth, despite how old this thing is. Look at the animation, it's just, I can't snap, so that's satisfactory, okay? Let's use this thing for the last hour playing music, cause I really will miss this thing once I'm finished with the challenge. Update, we are left with 10 more minutes before the challenge officially ends. So my SIM card was officially transferred on 10:02 PM yesterday. I'll miss this phone. Let's end the session with the orange and the green. As much as I hate to say it, the time has come for the iPhone 6 to retire its day. 71% right now. Because without going caseless, how are these things going to... How am I going to remove the SIM card and put it in the S21, right? Let's do this. I've got it. SIM card's out. My S21 should be complaining right now. There you go. That's the iPhone 6 tray. That's the S21 tray on SIM 1. Oh, synced out, there you go. I will switch the camera over to S21 and we are gonna set it back to how it originally is. Number one, my first thing is to turn off the passcode. Here we go, switching off. I guess we're done. That's all, the setup is complete, but before that, let's clear our watch history. Cause my sister wouldn't like Irish Rovers or Eddie Rabbit. She has a different taste in music. that's just the way it is. Let's see, clear watch history, clear watch history, clear search history. And we are done. So, here's the verdict. I find it enjoyable to use the phone. No matter how many times have Androids complain over how bad iOS is, I always find myself thinking that they are equal in their own ways. They have their own goods, they have their own bads. At the end of story, it's more of what you prefer. For me, after using the iPhone 6 despite being obsolete for God knows how many years, I still think it's a great phone, and because I've used it, I've come to really like it. And really, my next phone I'm thinking of right now is an iPhone. Because of the enjoyable experience I had with the 6, I really want to own an iPhone. So really, it's all down to experience. You're entitled to your own opinion, as I said. But if you don't like Apple iPhones, good for you, stick to Androids. If you don't like Androids, good for you, stick to iPhones. In the end of the day, it's all about preference. You cannot force one person to like what they don't like. And in my case, I am normally a pretty neutral person, but because I have used an iPhone for a day, say I probably haven't interacted with it enough, but the interaction and the experience I gained from it made me want an iPhone. So there you guys go. It's, to be honest, not even painful at all to use the phone. I haven't really used a lot of apps on it because I'm using it under a very restricted condition. This is my sister's iPhone. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a fun experience with me also, learning new things along the way as an all-time Android user. At the end of the day, as I said, it's all down to personal preference. This is a one-day-old clap, right? Now you see me in monotone. Right, bye.